So this is the 2-year-olds. Amy's going to talk about the 2-year-olds. I'm going to interject a little bit because she said she doesn't know all the horses. You know, what went on with them this week. The first horse on the list is AC Swan. AC Swan didn't go this week because she had a curb crowd. That's where those breaks were coming from in 2 of her last 3 weeks. And, you know, these little things. You know, there's two theories behind this. Had we not trained AC Swan hard, maybe she wouldn't have popped that curb. Maybe it wouldn't have popped out. I don't buy into that.
It would have been.
And that is where I come in. I don't buy into that in the least. All those injuries that you see these performance athletes, I believe they're in there, they're bubbling, they're waiting, and they will eventually.
And they do show signs of it.
That's right. She did show signs. Yeah. She would make the odd break.
Yeah.
It popped out, we crowd it, and move on. Same thing with Blanton's Blue. It wasn't that long ago. Blanton's Blue had an OCD removed from his ankle and was castrated. So all these things, you know, there's two very, very different, distinct schools of thought. And I'm not saying they're wrong, but I don't buy into them. I believe that curb was going to come out now or in June or in August. It was coming at some point. We got to see it and fix it now. And that is how I feel about all the horses. All those little injuries we see now, we can avert and help them get over and move on down the road. But we can't help them if they happen in June and July. That's almost a 2-year-old. A curb on a 2-year-old trotter.
It's 2 stake races.
It could be. Yeah, it's a while to get it right. You know, and the other thing is, if we're not training them that hard, it's easier for that to set and heal properly. You can't pop a curb, cryo it, and go out and race 2 weeks later. You're not going to see the benefit of that. And I just think that I believe all the little things we see now, we would see in the future. We just get to nip them in the bud right now. Perfect example is Prince Charmer, right? He hit that knee. We cleaned his knee up. Then he popped a curb. All that stuff would happen eventually. We just get to see it right now. So, AC Swan did not train this week. AC Swan had a curb. It's crowd. It's fixed now. She will not train again this Wednesday, but the next week she will. So,
Activation.
That's the Father Patrick. Yeah, we gelded him.
I've never gone with him.
Yeah, there's something about that colt.
And I get him mixed up with Affection all the time.
Well, of course, everybody does. They're very similar names. Activation, I think, is going to be a very, very good horse. He's strong, powerful, and his attitude is on point. He was very, very good again the other day. Daryl goes with him a lot. He was really good.
Okay. Affection, I know her.
Mm-hmm.
And you said she trained really good the other day.
She won the other day with a head full on, running in a little bit. You've gone with her before.
Yes.
She's a really nice filly. She was on a line for Amy, and it's hard. And I tell Amy this, and she gets angry all the time. When you learn to train a horse, when they get on a line sometimes, there's something you can, just the way you deal with a horse in the bit in their mouth. It's hard to explain to people that don't train or don't drive, but when you have the lines in your hands, the horse can almost sense, it can sense when you're agitated, it can sense when you're angry, it can sense everything somehow. The smart ones anyway, the stupid ones don't care. But most horses can sense. That's why some drivers, like Dexter Dunn, doesn't get along with some horses. He gets along with every horse because it's in the hands. And you know, I'll never be, never was, never will be Dexter Dunn. But when it comes to training the babies, it takes a certain set of patient hands, and that's why I love working with older horsemen like Eric and guys that have been, even both Jasons, because they understand. And when you have the horse's lines in your hand, and sometimes you're getting frustrated when a horse gets on a line for you, it compounds. Yes. And that's the thing. That's what you have to learn, is that when a horse gets on a line, there's a way that you can get them off the line and keep them off the line. But if you just go out and the horse gets on a line and you grab that line, as you go on further in the mile, it'll get worse and worse and worse until the horse, to the point, might make a break or something. But if you check them off the line and sometimes just tap them on the rump on the other side with the whip, it'll straighten them up. And those little tiny things, it takes lots and lots and lots of training sets to learn how to do that. And the problem when you get in trouble with those is because you do what everybody does. You're very reactionary. So the horse will get on the line and then you'll get on the line. Yes. Well, you have to feel that coming. You have to know that horse is getting on the line a little bit and headed off at the pass, so to speak. So when the horse is on it, you just tap them on the rump, shake them off the line. And then as that horse goes to repeat what it did to get on the line, you have to stay ahead of it, tap it on the rump again, say, hey, and they'll come out. They'll stay off the line. But once they got you hooked into that line, that's why they stay on it. It's hard. It's just from from training sets, you learn this. Anyway, that filly was just so rawly talented. Raleigh?
No, that's not a word.
I don't think that's what. I think I just made it up. Is so talented that she would carry on the left line real hard and run out, but when you put her in gear, she just wide open trot. But that time when she's on the line and twisted around, that will cost her. And it's something that we had to nip in the bud. So that break she made last week, we'd put a line pull on her neck, and then when she got in a place where Daryl grabbed her, her first instinct was to curl around on that line like she usually did, only
it touched her.
That burr line pull was there, and she just kind of sprung forward and made a break. Now we jogged her with the head pull on all week. We put the head pull on her. She was straight. In fact, she was actually running in on the turns. So the next thing to do will be take the Murphy blind off, let the head pull do its work, and she'll end up coming back perfect. This is why we train the horses the way we do. So, I had some people email me that were upset that Daryl got close to the jog cart and made a break. I don't care about any of that, because there is going to be a point in time in that filly's life where that exact same thing is going to happen in a race. The only difference is she's not going to make a break because she already was involved in. And that is why we train them the way we do. Nose to helmet. I had a couple people message me and say, Anthony, I hear you say nose to helmet. I don't really think that's safe traveling right. I want the horses breathing down the neck of the person in front of them. That's how I want our horses trained all the time. That's how I was taught. Mike McDonald, I thought, was probably one of the sharpest horsemen I'd been around in a long time. And Mike, that was the only thing he told us. I want you on the helmet. And that is the same way our horses are trained. I get angry when our trainers are, I want them nose to helmet all the time. They need to learn what to do when they're in a tight place. Behave, open your eyes, use your head. You've already been there. You've already trained this. You already know what it's like. Relax. And that's why our horses end up not making mistakes when others do. I feel it's because of the advantage of being able to train in that tight-knit group setting. So that is affection. That is why she trains like that. That is why we had the head pull on, and now she's almost perfect. Next.
Ali Baba.
Have you ever gone with Ali Baba?
No, I don't even know what she looks like.
Ali Baba, Eric always goes with. This is one of the Illinois fillies, AC Swan and Ali Baba. Ali Baba, Eric swears, is the best filly we have. And I think he's incorrect.
Is she the one that's really big, or is that the other one?
AC Swan is a bigger, chunkier filly.
Swan for all. Yeah, that makes sense.
No, she's not. They're both by class included. AC Swan, they're both.
Oh, I'm thinking Indiana. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Illinois. AC Swan is they're both at class included, right? Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Both by class included, and
Who's he by?
class included. I found out the other day. Now I could be wrong. I believe class included is a brother to Muscle Hill or a brother to. You don't have to send me the email. I'll look it up after. But he's a brother to a really good horse. I want to say Muscle Hill, but I'm not positive. Class included is a brother to a world champion. Anyway, AC Swan is the bigger, thicker filly. We had an OCD removed from her stifle, and she's trotting great. Never took a lame step in her life. Okay. And Ali Baba is a slicker gated, kind of a little more streamlined filly, and Eric swears she's the best horse we have.
Antilles Hanover.
That was your pick, wasn't it? You hated him. Everybody hated Antilles, and Antilles, even Lauren. Lauren struck her, or he struck Lauren the first day. Now Lauren said it was her fault. She sprayed the hose, and a lot of the babies when they come from the sale have never seen a hose before. They're all bathed off. So you go to
a sponge,
you go to hit them you go to spray them. And if you're not paying attention, like Lauren is used to working around racehorses. She just walked up and hit him with the hose, and it was like a laser beam. He just attacked and struck at her and hit her in the head and cut her head open. She had stitches in her head. And that day we castrated him. And he's been good. And he's an underdog. Don't kid yourself. He won the set the other day and made everybody like it. He's a nice colt.
He's not the nicest looking going.
He's ugly. He stands off and he's got that ugly kind of look to him. Nothing pretty.
No.
Nothing pretty, but he is, make no mistake, he is this year's Austral Hanover. In fact, he's trained better than Austral Hanover ever did in his life.
He doesn't run.
Never runs, always does his work.
Very hot in here.
Is it? So we just turn this button here. See where it says temp?
Yeah.
And we just turn it to the blue portion?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, just helping you.
Are you done with Antilles?
Yeah.
Okay, Arson, I actually really like this horse, and I almost put him on my list.
You can talk about him because you probably know as much about him as I do.
Oh,
I only went him 2 or 3 times.
Well, I know he's afraid of water trucks and tractors.
He's a little skittish still. Yeah.
But very nice, just a little guy.
He's not a big colt.
But I actually didn't know he was a captain until I was talking to Jason when
He's
we
a
were
captain.
warming up.
He's an extremely... So the scoop on this guy, I believe he was...
Is this Diamond Creek?
Yes. This is the guy when we bought him. So this is a cool story. I never knew they did this, but a lot of the farms will put a screw in to fix the conformation on the horses. Straighten their pasterns out. And I never knew they did this, so I thought it was very unique. But as I talked to Diamond Creek, they're like, no, actually, a ton of farms do it. We always did it.
But they're the only ones that disclosed
it.
They're
the only ones that disclosed it. Now, they're the first. He said, this is the first year we told everybody. So up now there's 2 or 3 other horses that had it done. Mm-hmm. So this guy did have a screw put in his pasture and just straighten him when he was a baby. He wears no boots. None. And comes nowhere near anywhere. Paces hard, has never taken a lame step. Now he's really, really starting to get it. The other day with Derek, he just toyed with us. He literally moved over in the 1.5 lane. Now I'm going to tell you, Lover's Play can trot as fast as almost any of our horses for a piece can trot or pace. And I never made up a centimeter of ground. And Derek is literally just sitting there with the whip over his shoulder, just shaking the lines at him, and he was gone. And I couldn't get anywhere near him. Arson is one of our best bred horses, and a very, very nice horse. And I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with this guy.
Blanton's Blue.
He's come the furthest. I can fix that. Sorry. It's not your fault. It did this to me the other day. Blanton's Blue is. I hated him for the longest time, and just because his attitude, right? This is a horse that is Mambasita's brother. He's by Chapter 7, so we didn't want to geld him. But really, it just come to a point in time where enough is enough. And
actually, I'm surprised you left it that long.
I was too. But shortly thereafter, gelding him. We gelded him the same day we took the OCD out. Now, you can argue that the only reason his attitude was bad was because of the OCD, and I can't argue with you. You may be correct, but we did castrate him anyway. And taking that away. The last 3 times he's trained, he was... don't care. Okay. The last 3 times he's trained, he was amazing. And I mean, very, very good. Joey went with him the other day, and I looked on the far outside, and he was just a flash across the track. He was just flying down the lane. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with Really Don't Care and Blanton's Blue in New York.
I'm glad he came around, because I was upset when you hated him a little bit.
Well, he's a pretty horse, but he was just such a mongrel to be around. Like, it just seemed like, it was like, oh, you don't want me to stop? I'm just going to go slow as I can. You want me to go forward? No, I'm not going to do anything. You want me to go left? I'm just going to go right for a little while first. It was like he could figure out what you didn't want him to do, and it was the very first thing he did every time. It's like he made it his mission to make your life more difficult every single day. And then he just immediately stopped. So when we castrated that horse and took that OCD out, he has come back from that and turned out, and I'm telling you, he is a good horse. There isn't anybody going to make him look silly in the barn right now. He can fly.
He's got good breeding.
He does.
Born to Dance. I've never gone with this horse.
It was so funny though. This is the guy that jumps over stuff. So I've made Jason jog him in an open bridle, Jason Merriman, and he said, I've almost been killed 3 times jogging this horse in an open bridle because he shies away from everything. But he said he's getting a little bit better every week. He said yes, he's getting a little bit better. He put him on the front the other day.
Was an open bridle on?
No, he closed bridle, but he had no shadow roll on or anything. Okay. So the shadow's all over the track. There's dirt. I'm sitting last, and I'm like,
this is dangerous.
I have no idea how this is going to play out. I'm just going to watch this. And I know where the shadows are.
You were sitting at the back?
I was, yeah.
Oh, wow.
What's that supposed to mean?
That just seemed like a weird statement.
So all the way around the turn, past the quarter pole, is the shadows all over there. And I'm just waiting for him to leap over something. So he jogged him. He did it. He jogged him over the biggest part of the shadows. You wouldn't understand this unless you're sitting behind a horse that does it, but it's not the big shadows they're scared of. It's the little tiny finals. So the shadows were from the light poles. Yeah. So you had this big...
Oh, the grandstand makes a big box.
No, but there's a big shadow about 2 feet off the track coming down from the light standard. So he went over the biggest parts of the shadows.
Oh, I see.
And then I came and cleared to the front with pull the shoes. And he's sitting behind me, and he's a little bit back. And there's a reason I tell everybody also nose to helmet, because they can't see anything on the track if you're on their helmet also. So he's like 2 lengths back, and we go over the little tiny shadows, and all I hear was, hey! And he just slowed up and kind of danced over them. But the next time around the track, he went over them just fine. I don't know why everybody thinks it's so shocking horses can learn to go over shadows. It's like the first time they go over shadow, it's like, oh, better get a shadow roll on that fella. You say, oh my God. You think a horse is that dumb they can't figure out that it's a shadow?
Some of them take longer than others.
Some of them, no. Yeah. Some of them just refuse. Yeah. But most of them, you'll see them get better and better and better. The vast majority of horses can learn to go over shadows. What was the name of the horse The procrastinator horse. He jumped over everything training down, and I refused to put a shadow roll on him. I covered him up his first 2 races, and then I put him on the front the one night. He went right over every shadow. It never bothered him once.
That little other Ohio bred used to do
the
it
Pennsylvania one. Remember, he jumped over the pylon shadow on Sylvain?
Oh, yeah.
The one that I'll play it again. And then I took the shadow roll off and put him on the front, and he won his first lifetime start, which was the only start he won for
that was, but that was in the afternoon at the Meadows.
He went over every shadow. Yeah. Okay.
No, that little dragon horse did it too.
Yeah.
Luck of the Dragon.
Yeah, well, we don't talk about it.
Okay. Who's next? Chirohala, never gone with her.
She's, right now, I would say Chirohala is a Buckeye filly, but she does everything right. She's the type of filly where if she gets a little stronger, the sky's the limit. As of right now, she can only do so much, but her body, her breeding should allow her to do more. And it's not that she has a bad attitude. So there's no reason, if she came out and ended up being a very, very good 2-year-old, I wouldn't be shocked. But as we sit here in this truck, I would say, if you extrapolate what you see now and just push that forward into the summer, she's probably a Buckeye fair filly, but she should be a lot of fun to race because she rarely does anything wrong now.
Cowboy by the Sea?
He's a killer.
I know he is.
Straight up killer.
Never gone with him, so I don't.
You can go with him next time. He's a very, very nice horse.
It's okay. I don't need that pressure.
Okay.
Did not know. I know a little bit about her. The little tiny thing that was up here, got her hocks on.
She's just doing work.
Operated on.
She's just doing work right now. She's pacing now. Joey's gone with her last couple and just followed speed. She's stuck in the middle where she can't quite go as fast as the other horses yet, but she's going to have to if she's going to train with them. So she ends up sitting 5th and finishing 5th close in all the sets. One of these days she's going to be 4th, and the next time she might be 3rd.
As long as she's learning
and she is learning, and she's doing it well, but it's not completely perfect for her, but she's getting there, and she's a ways. If everybody else is going to be ready in July, she's going to be ready in August.
Don't talk about Bruno.
Nice. You and I both got him about the same. I might have went with him once. Okay, one time.
0 times. But I do see him, every day, and I know what he's like. And also, it's funny because someone was posting, how are all the first crops doing or whatever, and someone was specifically asking about alarm detectors, and I should have spoke up because I forgot he was an alarm detector.
Yeah, he's a nice. I felt bad for him because we castrated him because he's Crantini's brother. Macho Martini and Crantini forced his castration, and he never did a thing wrong, the poor little bugger. Never threw his head, never got hot, never got crazy. We just castrated him.
He doesn't do anything wrong. He makes the odd break in the turns, but usually there's a reason.
He'll learn to get through that. That's just him being self-conscious in the turns.
Yeah, he's gonna be. He's nice. Drebin. Freshly gelded.
Drebin picked the wrong day.
Oh my goodness, he's big.
Yes.
Like really tall.
And he picked the wrong day to be a bad boy when I trained him. I think he's one of our best horses. He can fly. Another pick of Amy's. You and Danny did not like Drebin. In fact,
Danny loves Drebin.
Danny might have liked at the sale.
He wasn't at the sale.
Well, who was there? Oh, Steve.
Yeah.
You and Steve both hated him. Yeah, so...
no, it was the old... Come check out this horse.
Yeah, so no, it's fair. So this guy, Rob Dribbit.
No.
Yes, that's his name.
The horse's name is Drebin.
Yeah, no, but Rob Tribbett is the name of the gentleman that runs...
Not the guy with the glasses.
Yes.
You were calling him something else.
I called him the wrong name for 8 years.
5 years?
No, 8 years. I called him Fred for 8 years. I did. I called the man Fred for 8 years. And his name's Rob.
You did.
I asked him, so we interviewed him. Curtis was interviewing him, and Curtis comes back, and I said, how's the interview with Fred? He goes, well, pretty good, except his name's not Fred. So I saw him 5 minutes later. I said, how long were you going to let me call you Fred for? And he goes, I just didn't feel right. So, Rob, we bought insider trading out of the All-American consignment. Right? And I went over and talked to him, and he was very polite. And he sent me a text message the next day and said, Anthony, it's Rob/Fred. Rob/Fred. He said, I have a Walner colt over here, and not a lot of people have pulled him out. He stands off a little bit, but his breeding's good. He's a nice colt. I don't understand. So either it was good advertisement or not, but I think he was telling the truth because he only brought 25,000.
And they're way at the back.
They are, but they've always been in the same place.
Yeah, that's true.
So I went over and looked at him, and Drebin stands off a little bit. He does. And it looked like he would hit his knee, and he does. Touch his knee once in a while, but the faster he goes, he gets up over it, and I don't think it'll be a problem when he's racing. And he is a nice colt, so I appreciate, thus far anyway, appreciate the text message from Rob Fred.
Okay. Easy in the turns.
So easy in the turns. Every year we have one of the muscle masses seem to be the ones also. Their knees bother them a bit. Tipsy and Dixie almost didn't make the races at 2 because her knees killed her at 2. She just got over the hump.
Well, we've literally done knees on them all.
The 2 muscle masses. Yeah.
And no, 3. George.
Oh, George, that's right, all 3. So just so you know, the muscle mass breed, they're nice horses, they're heavier horses, they do their work, but their knees do bother them. And I think I can say that. We've had like 10 of them now.
Yeah.
Their knees do bother them when they're young, and they either can get through it, and then those knees will fill in as you get closer to the races, or they can't, right? And if you keep pushing, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
What happens if you keep pushing and pushing? You have a piece of wood, and you keep bending it and bending it, it's going to break. Right? So I say it all the time that if, you're going to have to listen to the horses if you're going to be a trainer. And when they start to talk, you better listen. And when they start saying, my knees are sore, and then you blister them, or in her case, we even injected them,
yeah.
And then she doesn't really get better right away, then it sounds like she's headed in the wrong direction. And if you continue to just say, oh, well, you'll be fine, they won't. They'll break their knees. So we're going to put easy in the turns away sound. Yeah, her knees are a little sore, but there's no fractures, there's no lines, there's no chips, there's nothing there. There's no reason why that filly won't be 100% at some point down the road, and not in the distant future. So why keep pushing her? You're just going to hurt her. So we're going to turn her out in the field and let her knees cool down, fill in. We'll bring her back in June or something, and she'll be fine. You guys need to remember, go back and watch the videos and look how smooth and fluid she was.
Flawless, and
Perfect.
then all of a sudden not.
Because she's sore, because her knees just couldn't. Her knees just couldn't hold up, and she was getting sore in them. We injected them. She got good for maybe a week, and then got sore again. And she's telling us, "Hey, this isn't working." So just turn her out, and that's exactly what we did.
The thing about her though is, like, she did her work when she wasn't 100%. So
she always tried it.
Yeah, I like that about her, because there's a lot of them that have a little bit of pain,
masses,
and they're like, no thanks.
They're good horses. They're good horses. That filly will come back. Just, you want to know what Easy in the Turns is like? Go back and look at her videos from January and February. That's what Easy in the Turns is like.
She was really nice. I enjoyed going with her. Okay, Electric Line, I've heard a lot of things about.
Fast, makes breaks, hind sesamoids bother him.
Yeah.
We crowded sesamoids the other day, actually. We're doing our best to alleviate the discomfort he has in his hind legs. We've shot him, put ag bars on him behind. We're trying our hardest to help him. And if he also is in one that, remember, I just finished talking about Easy in the Turns. If this guy needs some time, we'll give him time. And really, the reason for that is they've shown talent. Easy in the Turns has been a talented filly. Electric Line can go. I trained him in 222 by himself. He's a fast colt, but he does have these issues. They do hurt him. He's not faking it. If they hurt him, they hurt him. The other leather up is Venice Blue Chip, and she goes, but her knees bother her from time to time, and she goes. Yeah. This guy here, just take your time. And don't forget, his dad might have been a super fast horse, but also steered like a dump truck also. Lather up himself, made breaks, ran in really bad. It just, leave the horse alone. Let him do his work. If they show talent, let them show it off. And when it comes to this colt, just give him some time. And if we have to, we will. If we cry with sesamoids and in 2 weeks he's making breaks still, he's going to the field.
Enough,
yeah.
Flash Fly.
He's a killer. Flash Fly's a nice filly. I love her. Everybody kept saying, oh, she jogs so terrible. She can't. Just leave her alone. And I told everybody she won't stay that way. Lameness does not stay constant. That's the one thing I want everybody to understand. I don't care if you're a horseman or you're not out there. Lameness, and it's true.
I know.
Lameness does not stay constant. It gets better or it gets worse. It will not stay constant. And this filly constantly warms up cantering, and she'll get out of gear. And then after a lap, some days she doesn't do it at all, and other days it's a lap or it's 2 laps. So it does move. But when you turn her to go the right way, all business. You don't have to worry about Flash Fly, and that is the sign of a good horse. Flash Fly, Insider Trading, Royal Emeralds. The green shoe breeding, I would buy another green shoe breeding right now. James might not. James doesn't like them because they were hard to break, but I would literally and happily buy a second one.
I think he changed his mind now.
I would literally, happily, easily buy a second one to breed another one of our mares too. Anyway, Flash Fly is just a absolutely mentally screwed in tight filly. Is she perfect? No, but she's going to get there.
It's interesting because the way that she feels sometimes when she's going her mile, you would lose a lot of baby trotters when they put steps in like that. And she just doesn't. Like, because I'm always like, here, this is when we're going to run. This is where we're going to run. And she just doesn't.
No, she's looking for a way to speed up. If you just let her out a little bit more, you just see her ass drop a little, her head drop a little, and she just sink into this perfect gait. The speed you're at when she's doing that, all the horses have trouble around that 230 speed.
Yeah.
Because when you go to step on it, and then you got to slow down, that's when they start to interfere a little bit. So they don't like that speed. But when you start to let them coast up a little bit into that 225 or thereabouts speed, they start to settle in a little bit more. And her especially, I should say everybody, her especially.
Out, yeah. Who's next? George of the Jungle. Haven't gone with him since the very beginning, but
neither have I. He's just
actually, he got shod the day before we trained. So he got shot on Tuesday. We trained on Wednesday. We weren't really sure how that was going to go because you know what he's like, and his feet were they're not a problem, but he's a muscle mass and he's got flip-flops on. But anyways, he trained really good. I actually asked Johnny to come around to the front because Flashfly was being silly, and he trotted like we finished together. So,
and I think that's important also because I just finished telling you that we injected Easy in the Turns knees and she didn't get better. George of the Jungle did. And that is the hurdle, right? I can't tell you who is going to be able to push forward. We talk about the hurdles that the horses have to go through, and it's almost like they come to them every so often. There's speed, there's intelligence, there's stamina. Then you get to this time when you start to push them, are they going to stay sound? Easy in the Turns is telling us that she isn't if we continue to push, whereas George of the Jungle said, hey, thanks for doing my knees. We're good to go. And that's pretty much where we're at with George of the Jungle. I don't like injecting 2-year-olds, but especially with this breed, we went through this with Tipsy and Dixie. We went through this with a number of other muscle masses that we had. We've seen it before. We know how we've dealt with it, where it's been good and it's worked out well in the past, and that's what we try to keep doing.
Okay, Goldbug is actually here.
Goldbug's here tonight. Yep. So the only issue with Goldbug, and we're going to use this to our advantage also. She was entrapped. They tried to hook it, and so what they'll do is there's two methods. They can actually be invasive, go in through the bottom of the throat and operate on the palate, or they can go in through the nose with a hook, with that mouth with a hook, and they just open up that membrane and it releases everything, I guess. And they did the hook one the first time, it didn't work. Then we sent her 2 weeks later down to Brown Clinic. Dr. Brown went in and he operated. He said there's a lot of ulceration and swelling in there. I don't really know why. I can't really tell until the swelling comes out. Well, I said, well, we're going to keep the bit out of her mouth and her off the track, and I don't want to work her hard. So why don't we take her back to Ontario where we can turn her out in the paddock every morning, first thing, and then we can put her on the walker, keep her work up, keep her stamina up without putting pressure on that throat. So Natalie, again, Dr. Cote is going to be here for the University of Guelph next week doing those scopes. I wanted to look at Goldbug Hanover and how the hell. So Goldbug Hanover is in Ontario tonight. As of right now, she's in a stall at First Line.
Great bet.
Coming good. Looking really, if anything, getting really sharp and steady. But I like the trajectory he's going in. He's going to have to turn dirty for me to cut
I don't think he will.
No, and he's always been quiet and weak and whiny and hiding in the corner. Now he's got his head over the gate and he's kind of neckering at everybody, and he's training good. And I think he just had to, again, we talk about every horse has these hurdles they have to get through. This guy's come busting through a few of them over the last few weeks, and I like what I see from him.
Green Tea. Never gone with him.
Green Tea is a nice colt. This is Dr. Rucker's colt.
Yeah.
He wanted to keep him a stud, and I don't know that he would have stopped doing this if we had gelded him, but he's always throwing his head, and he's made breaks because of it. But again, Eric said he can absolutely fly, and he can fly. But no, he had the V on, and it still didn't help. We have a very tight, like Crantini. Yeah, a Crantini like martingale on him, and it's going to get tighter real soon. Once you get him in the mile and he's focused, like if you move over and let him trot, he is motionless and can fly. But if you put him anywhere where he has to relax for a minute, the demons just come out, and he's not nasty or mean, but he just gets stupid sometimes.
Because none of the green cheese are hot.
He can get a little warm, but just at like Crantini hot. That's how he is. Crantini's not hot, but when he gets it in his head that he wants to do something, he can turn hot really quick. But for the most part, he's two fingers, and that's kind of like how Green Tea is. Gypsy Hill, I put it number 1 this week.
Yeah, he's very nice.
You went with him. I haven't gone with him since long before you did, so you can tell me.
Well, I only went with him one time. He's very nice. He's very powerful. He's got a big, I want to say a big engine, but he's got a big butt on him. He's very nice powerful horse. Trotter. It's very nice, like very nice to steer.
Mm-hmm. It's been a while since we had this deep pool. The last time we had this deep a trotting pool was, at least on the colt side, was Oso Pine, West 52nd, and
yes.
And yes, that was the last time we had 3 horses or so, and we actually had 4. There's No Chance in Hill. Looked fantastic the other day also. Yes. So now we have Gypsy Hill, Irresistible Sun, Sweeney, and No Chance in Hill. All 4 of those horses are really, really nice colts. So, and then on the filly side, we have Sedona Hill, Oh Snap You, and who's the other one?
The Purple.
Yes, she might be the best one. Purple People Eater. And then on the pacing side, we have Cowboy and the guy that jumps over the shadows.
Oh, yes.
He can fly. He was airborne the other day. And on the filly side, we have I'm Fancy Like and Venice Blue Chip. So 4, 7, 11 powerful horses in the Ohio barn this year. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Hallie in the Clouds.
Perfect example. Another muscle mass where we took her to the vet. The vet said her knees are bothering her a little bit. Not that shocking. We injected her knees, gave her the week just to go easy. We're going to jog her for another week, then we'll start her back up. Hallie in the Clouds has come to that precipice also where can you do it or can you not? She doesn't exhibit the same discomfort that Easy in the Turns
No, but
did.
she's showing signs.
She is, but she's also showing signs of growing.
Yes.
So you just have to take your time with her. Hallie in the Clouds went from being, I put her on number 1 before and thought she was our best horse. She may get there again. It's just how we manage her from here on in will dictate if she can get to the races or not. I don't think she's going to get to the point of Easy in the Turns where, like, she's sore again on her knees. I don't think she's going to get to that point, but we have to be careful with her moving forward. And I think if she gets through this hurdle, I'm telling you, the sky's the limit for this filly. She can fly.
I'm Fancy Like, never gone with her. So.
Beautiful filly. Doesn't steer the greatest. Runs in, runs out, but she can dance. She's fast.
She's still wearing the open bridle, or did you put the clothes back
on? That's a good question. I'm not sure. She's trained in an open and a closed. That's good. I don't know whether she has or not. I'm Fancy Like's just a really, really good horse. Now she's overshadowed a little bit by Venice Blue Chip, but I'm Fancy Like the day we put them on the front, she beat everybody. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with this filly, and she's another one that was just such a slob when we broke her. Just didn't want to do anything right, and has just come full circle and turned into this nice horse. She's a really nice filly.
Insider Trading.
Another green shoe. Insider Trading is.
I'm good now. Sorry.
Are you sure you don't want to cough a little bit more? Really? Can you catch tuberculosis?
I don't know.
That's actually my drink, but definitely gonna get it now.
What is that?
That's cold brew. I like it. Oh, it's better when it's full, but Insider Trading is just a sweetheart everywhere except in the barn. The green shoes are so funny. Flashfly and Insider Trading just pin their ears right to their neck and just look at you like they just want to kill you all the time.
Actually,
but then when you walk up and pet them, they just kind of snuggle up to you like a big teddy bear. And they're both the same way. And Insider Trading is just, she's a really nice filly, and I think we're gonna have a lot. I don't know how good any of them will be at this point. You know, I've made aspirations. I think this one will be that, or I think this one will be a stake. I don't know. No one knows, and I should never say it. But when you look at how good they're going, obviously, historically, I can look back in my memory and say, well, geez, this horse was this good in this year. These horses are training better, but we have to race against other horses that are better too. So I don't know, but Insider Trading is just a very, very nice filly.
International Spy is turned out.
We turned him out, and again, this is a horse where he was just telling us, hey, he was getting sore in a number of places, but the telling sign was when he started to get sore over his back. When you have a baby starting to get sore over the back, they're taking weight from a number of places. Now their hocks are sore. Usually what will happen is it'll go feet and or knees back into their hocks. Their hocks will get sore. They'll get up underneath themselves. When they get up underneath themselves, their back starts to get really tight and really sore. When you start to see that, there's a lot of stuff going on there. And more times it's just attributed to maturity and growth. And that was it with Insider Trading. He was a big boy. We castrated him, kicked him out, and I turned him out at Schaefer's on purpose to turn him out on those hills. On the hills at Schaefer's, I think will go a long way for him.
Irresistible Sun. I actually was supposed to go with him like a month ago, and then I took Ollie somewhere, and I lost my drive on him, but...
You did, yeah. He's a really nice colt. Him, Gypsy Hill, Sweeney, and No Chance in Hill. I think are all going to be very, very good horses. And Irresistible Son.
And he's still
his
cool.
sister is racing here at Mohawk.
Oh.
Grateful or something. I think
yeah.
That's his sister.
And he's still cool, right?
He is.
He's
Just a very nice horse. Oh, he's a very nice horse.
J-Port, he's been coming on a little bit.
I was telling the gentleman that visited from the Maritimes today, J-Port Beach Boy is the brother to Ian Morse. What's the name of that horse?
I never remember when you asked me.
Anyway, Century Pharoah.
Oh, that's not what I was going to say.
Well, that's his brother.
Okay.
So this is Century Pharoah's brother by McWicked. Totally different horse since we castrated him. Everybody's saying, you should go with J-Port, you should go with J-Port. I went with him 2 weeks ago. I went a mile like 22 by himself. I came in, I said, why do I need to go with this horse? He is perfect. He doesn't wear anything. He doesn't do anything wrong, and he can pace fast. Why do I need to go with him? And then ever since then, James went with him the other day. So I'll tell you who's way better is J-Port Beach Boy.
I actually went with him, and he made run on me twice in the turns, and then you guys put a line pole on the outside.
I think I went with him after he run on you. He didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, but you guys put poles on him.
Yeah,
he wasn't wearing poles on that one. No, he was wearing a pole. He was wearing a head pole and a Murphy on the inside, and I said he was running out the whole way.
Remember we talked about that line?
No, but you guys put a line pole on the outside.
I don't know what they have on him, but he was perfect the other day.
My tips do...
I never said they don't. I never said they don't. Okay, keep going.
Okay.
J-Port Beach Boy.
Roll your eyes every time.
Didn't roll my eyes at all.
Yeah, you did.
You just said somebody put a line pole, so somebody listened to you.
Not you.
I didn't put the line pole on.
Look back in action.
Getting better every week, but she's going to be, I think, a Buckeye filly. And fun, though. She stayed trotting the last 3 or 4 weeks. Might be one break, I'm not sure, but did her work really, really well the last 2 weeks. She's growing a lot. She went from, that was a filly, she's a nasty bugger, though. Nasty, nasty little bugger. And she was really small and wouldn't eat all that good. Then she started to get better and better, started eating good, sprouted up. She's much taller now. She's going to be a big, big filly.
Well, Uncle Peters generally aren't small.
Yeah, exactly. And she's going to be a bigger filly. And she's doing her work well right now.
Lonely Lakewood.
He's perfect.
That horse... So I sat behind him with Winter Bells the other day.
Yeah.
And I said to Johnny, I literally need Gravel.
Oh yeah, he wanders. He's just such a scatterbrain. But once that horse gets in a race behind a gate and sits with other horses and understands his work, he's going to be scary. And he's a really, really nice horse. I don't care about the wandering stuff. I guarantee you, if you hit him a snap on the tail and growled at him and just had him duck into his head check, he would be straight as a string and would do his work really, really well.
Okay. Lover's Play.
I think Lover's Play is one. It's hard to say she's a sleeper because I've told you a million times she's a nice filly. This filly is a legit nice filly, and I really, really, really like her. I think she's got a lot to offer. And I told everybody about 6 or 7 weeks ago, they saw her go on the track, and she was flopping around and all. I said, just wait till she gets shod. We'll baycox her. We'll blister her stifles. I guarantee you the next time you see her, she's a different filly. And it wasn't a week later. I circled the whole field with her. She can fly. I think I would be shocked if she doesn't show up at Oak Grove for the June 13th stake race.
Mick Paisley.
Getting better. Did she must not have run the other day again? Nobody said anything about her.
What set was she in? The first, I didn't see it.
Oh, because she's been doing her work better, Danny. We tightened her hobbles up, changed her gear a little bit. She looked good the last time I saw her. Now, I didn't get a report for the other day, but I can assure you if she made a break, I would be told. So, McPaisley is improving. Like what I see from her. Don't know a whole lot about the McWickeds. We just have J-Port Beach Boy and McPaisley.
It was funny because on that thing I was just talking about before where people were asking, a lot of people were negative on the McWickeds.
Yeah.
But saying that they started off kind of blah, but they're coming around now.
Yeah.
And I would agree with that.
Yeah, both of ours have done the work well now.
Mel Gibson, was he off for a little bit?
He was. We castrated him. He had one of his testicles the veterinarian thought was a little twisted, and I don't know enough about it, but he said, I think we should castrate this horse. He wasn't doing anything wrong, but I said, well, for the sake of him, yeah, let's castrate him. Now, he's been training great since, but he was training great before.
Yeah.
He's over on the left shaft a little bit, runs in, runs out, but he's getting better, and I know Jason said he was really, really good. Jason Merriman has gone with him the last 4 or 5 weeks, and the last 2 weeks he said, no, much better, really good now.
And then Memory and Imagination.
Again, this is more important now than ever. Memory and Imagination is the first foal from a sister to Brace for Landing, and Memory and Imagination, we castrated him, totally different horse. He has been very, very, very good of late. I like what I see from this guy.
Militant, you put him on your list this week.
I almost did.
Oh, you almost
He didn't make my list. He was on my list of 24. I went with him I think he had a funny story about him. So that guy, when you're training him, I'm jogging him. He'd hit his knee about a month ago and it blew up. So we were getting his knee down. We had to put knee boots on him and just took our time with him. So on that downtime, Joey was going with him, and I think he kind of slid into a coma. You know, he just kind of went out and did his work and blah, blah, blah. So Curtis showed up the other day, and I said, I'll go with Militant. Take the bell boots off him, put the other knee boots on him that fit him a little bit better. I'll go with him. I scored him down, and as I'm watching him trot, I'm saying to myself, it is impossible for him to hit his knees. I don't understand how he could possibly hit his knee. And as I'm thinking it in my head, we got to the turn, he squared himself up, I heard him touch himself behind. So what'll happen with a lot of trotters is, you'll see them come back, they'll hit that shin behind, just brush it, or they'll hit it harder, one or the other, and their next stride is into the front knee, right? They'll bounce off it almost. That sounds silly for people that don't understand it, but they're moving so quickly, there's not a lot of time for them to correct their gait perfectly. So he reached back, hit his shin, I heard him hit the boot, and his next stride, right up, bang, into his knee. We had knee boots on him, he bounced off it, and he just roared through the turn. So, how do we stop that? I don't know that you can. Everybody's like, oh, we'll do this. I told you guys about the shims and everything, but you can't know for sure. We can tip him out a little bit behind, we can put those toe corks on him, and he might never do it again. But he did do it the other day. Anyway, he hit his knee boot. It never bothered him at all. He needs to learn to push through that too. As you can imagine, you put a knee boot on for the first time, the horse hits that knee boot. One, the sound, and two, the concussion of hitting it. It's a little startling to them. They have to learn to go with that. And I think we can tinker with him, but he did win the set wrapped up under wraps the other day and looked very, very good doing it.
Okay, Mounts for All.
It's been great. Mario said the horse was amazing the other day.
He was.
He's a very, very nice horse. We're going to have a lot of fun with this guy. Every year we have one or two for Indiana. We're like, geez, I think this will be a good horse. What was the name of the little guy we had? Did good, but just was off the periphery of the best of the division. He was like a pretty decent grassroots horse. Wasn't quite amongst the best. What was his name?
Here?
The one that Mario trained a couple of years ago. We ended up selling him. He's back in Ontario now. He was an Indiana bred.
Oh, the Muscle Massive?
Yes.
He raced the other night at London.
Yes.
I can't think of his name.
Anyway, he was almost a real good horse, but just what Indiana's a lot like Ontario. You're either really good or you're lost, and he just ended up in the wave of pretty good horses in Indiana. That's where this guy's headed. Is he going to be one of the best, or is he going to kind of wade through that ocean of okay trotters? But he's headed in the right direction. He looks really, really good.
No chance in hell.
I like this horse. He's still a stud,
I
and
know.
just like
why.
a big koala bear. He doesn't do anything wrong. He's like the biggest, kindest horse you'd ever see, and he was making breaks. His knees bothered him. He's a big, giant animal. We put the hobbles on him. Jason went with him. Jason just snugged his hobbles right up, scored him down. He made a break. I saw him reach down, pull the hobbles up, and zoom! He trained him, and the horse was flying on the end of it. I said, how was he? He said, perfect. Never put a step in.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, Snap You? I haven't gone with her in a while.
Snap's good. She's just one of those fillies that does it right all the time. And we're not going to see how good she is until she gets to the races, because she does it good enough every week
Yeah.
that you're like, oh, geez, she was good again.
You kind of forget about the ones that always train good.
Yes, and that's because I'm always focused on the ones I'm trying to help, and everybody else is focused on the ones that look flashy, and the ones in the middle sometimes people don't notice. Those are the ones that fly under the radar, and that's who Snap is.
Because I've never even seen her make a break.
No, she's always good.
Paycheck Princess.
She's better every single week. That was the one that finished right beside Militant. I looked over. Eric goes, I could have beat you if I wanted to. It was funny. And I said, was she good though? He said, she is really good. So we really tightened her hobbles up. And I said, hey, is she still strong with her hobbles like that? He said, very strong. So she was really good the other day.
Pickpocket.
It's a fantastic horse. I can't say enough about him. I think he's going to be one of our best horses this year. There's nothing else to
he's
say.
been on my list every year. Every time I do one. Prince Charmer.
Prince Charmer's, we're going to have fun with him. I don't think
he's a long tom?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
And he's still a stud, too. He never makes a noise. You walk 3 fillies right by me, just look at them. He's just the sweetest horse. He trains with no head check on. He hit his knee, gets out of gear, but he just bumps and goes along. And I think he's going to be a lot of fun, like in the Buckeye and in the Fairs. He'd have to really grow into himself and come forward in a big way to be a sire stake type, but you never know. But he's going to be a lot of fun regardless of where we race him.
Pull the shoes?
I told everybody, I don't know if she's our best horse. She might be my favorite. And I love Punch the Clock. Take nothing away from Punch the Clock. Pull the Shoes. I just like I like, as I said to Amy in the earlier video, she is like a guard dog, a very good guard dog. She will wait until you say sick 'em, and then she is wide open with like the most ferocious competitive spirit. I love, you don't get to see it very often in horses. You know, they'll do their work and they'll compete and, you know, puts a smile on your face, but she's just got this vicious demeanor to her when she's on the track, and I love it. I think she's going to be a good horse. I think she's squared away now. We have her shod perfect. She's trotting great. She just feels like a really good horse.
Punch the Clock.
Punch the Clock's supposed to be a good horse, right? She's supposed to be our best horse. She is King of the North's sister. She's worth a fortune just as a broodmare alone. And I think that she's going to be a very good horse for us. She's been training great. I love everything about her. James throws around compliments like manhole covers because he doesn't want to feed my optimism. And that's what it is that James likes to stay grounded about them because I get really excited too, right? I'm your partner on many of these horses. So I get really excited when I see the horse is good. And James doesn't like to talk highly of them around me, which is fine. But he always does about Punch. I know he thinks that she's really special. And I can't wait to see how it turns
out. Purple People Eater.
Have you gone with her recently?
Not in a long time.
Purple PP Eater.
PP.
She's peed on about 3 people.
Yeah.
When she gets in heat, she horses really bad. But when you make her do her work, oh my God, she's got a nice gait. She's more fluid than her sister was. This is Purple Aura's sister. Yeah. She's more fluid than her sister was, and I don't want to talk about strong because Purple Aura was a very strong filly too, but this filly's just got, if we can keep her comfortable all summer where she's not horsing and coming into heat bad, I think she could be a really, really good horse for us all summer long. She may be our best filly. There's 3 of them that are almost in a dead heat right now. Sedona Hill, Purple People Eater, and Oh Snap You are really, really good. I don't know which one's better than the other 2.
You have to have a race off and then pick.
Yeah, we will. It's called the summer. They're going to race for money.
No, but you have to pick one for that first stake race.
Yeah, we'll know by then. I mean, we're going to do our best. The stake race, I don't think any one of them is much more faster than the other one. So it's going to be who's the smartest, who's the most durable, and who's ready to go on July the 1st. Yep. That's who's going to race in the next generation.
Ready for Landing did not train this week because you weren't here.
Yeah, that's all right. Ready for Landing, I think, is fast. I don't know how, and this is the struggles that I have sometimes. I don't know what I can do to get him to the races in a more widened path. What I mean by that is he's a very myopic colt. If you train him the way he wants to be trained, he is awesome. If you so much as color outside the lines in the slightest bit, he comes unglued. And it's not because he's mean or ignorant. I just think he's stupid, to be honest. No, I do, because if you move him first over, he should settle. You should be able to float first over and let him settle. You do that, he'll run. You put him on the front, he'll run. And if you move him too early in the mile, he'll get wound up and run. I just think he needs to mature. Mentally, he's a midget. He's a very, very dumb horse. But he's really fast, and he's not ignorant. He's not rude. If I would geld him if I said, oh, if we geld him, he'll be fine. It has nothing to do with his attitude. He just doesn't learn as quick. It's almost like he doesn't trust anybody, and this is how I like to train, and this is how I'll train, or I'll destroy everything. And that's kind of how he is. And I don't know. Part of me just wants to train him the way he wants to be. We're far enough down this road now where part of me just wants to train him the way he likes it and hope that as he gets better and more confident and stronger, he'll widen that path. I don't like to train horses like that. I like to put them, put their feet to the fire and say, no, you will train every way, and that's the way it is. And he doesn't get tired. You can't teach him that way. Usually if you tire them out, they'll bend. This guy, I haven't seen him tired. I get tired before he does. Yeah. And I think I'm just going to keep him. He wins. I'm just going to let him train his way for now and hope that as we get close to the races, we can expand that avenue. And that, I don't like doing it that way, but, every horse is different. And I have to be flexible also. And with him, I don't feel it's ignorance or rudeness. He just can't function when he's outside. It's almost like he has autism. Can horses have autism? I think he might have it.
I don't know.
It's like, how some, everybody's on the spectrum
routine,
or whatever. Yeah, that strict routine. And if you color outside the lines, they flip out. That's almost how he is. That's almost exactly how he is. It's so weird. I've never seen a horse like that. I've seen horses get lame, get sore, make breaks, do things. I've never seen a horse just have this narrow lane to which they can function. And Ready for Landing is on it.
Really don't care.
She's the complete opposite. You can do whatever you want with her. Front, first over, in the middle of the track, run over a wheel, lose a shoe. You do whatever you want with Really Don't Care, and she is coming at the wire. You're not getting away from her. Her and Blanton's Blue are going to be two very nice horses in New York this year. I don't know how good. I don't know where they'll fit in the scheme of things stake-wise, but they'll be very effective horses in New York.
Actually, which is nice because they're not Kentucky also, are they?
No, I don't think so.
Because that program really took a hit last year because
they should be Kentucky, actually, because she was born at... That's Michelle Crawford.
Yeah, Michelle.
Now, did they fold them out? I have to look. I don't think they are.
But
I think they're just New York.
But I'm saying that...
Oh, yeah, New York.
Oh, that's why we got them cheaper.
That's right.
Because remember last year when we were looking and the New York Sires had like 4 horses in it?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, we raced...
Well, no, New York Sires had lots in it, but the people went to Kentucky and stayed in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the first couple did, and then everyone was gone. And
yeah.
the fields were really small.
I think both these horses will be in New York, and they'll both fit in really, really good. They both get around half good. They've both been training at Northfield. They both are very versatile now, and I think they're going to be very effective horses in New York. Okay. We're only at 50 minutes.
I know. Rito's Lady.
Oh, Woffs.
The Woffs.
So Rito's Lady, I told everybody yesterday, we're going to train her probably 210 and kick her out in the field. I like what I see from her. She's a little quirky. She'll sit there and kick the stall till you want to throw a bucket of water on her. But she's like that on the track. She's very competitive, and I like that about her. I think she grows up and fills out. She's going to be a nice 3-year-old. I would say the open house, if she can make it to the open house comfortably, that will be her last hurrah for this part of the season. If she doesn't, we'll kick her. If she trains in 14 and we turn her out, so be it.
Royal Emeralds. I haven't gone with that filly.
Neither have I in a very long time. She is a very, very good horse. Might be our best green shoe. She can absolutely fly.
Seasons of Love.
Nice filly, getting better. She's gone through a lot of hurdles where she's made breaks and got sore. We haven't had to do a whole lot with her, but she's been very good. I trained her 2 weeks ago, thought she was great. James went with her, said she was good again. Who went with her?
Mario went with her the other day.
And he said she was good again, I think.
She was fine.
Yeah.
Sedona Hill.
Sedona Hill's just been great. She's just a very nice filly.
Digit.
Digit is one of the her and Blanton's Blue, one of the most improved horses. I went from loving her when we broke her to thinking maybe she's not as good as I think she is when we were training her down. I broke down, changed her shoes, put the hobbles on her, added some gear to her. She trained as good as anybody could have trained the last 2 weeks. She looked exceptionally good both weeks, last 2 weeks.
Southwind Digit again. Mm-hmm. Oh, I just did her. Sunset Acres Grove.
Yeah. She's a nice filly. She's a Jurassic Park filly. She is going to be a very, very fun horse for all our clients that own pieces of her in Michigan. You're going to have a lot of fun with this filly this year.
Oh, Sweeney.
Sweeney's just a nice call. He's so dumb in the barn and does stupid things, but you get him on the track and it's like he understands everything. You can get close to wheels with him. He's never scared in a hole, moving. It's like he's going through the motions. He knows what he's supposed to do, and he does it on the track. Then you bring him off the track, get half the jog cart unhooked, and he wants to wreck everything. Just the stupid things in the barn. But he just has to learn. Again, he just has to learn how things are supposed to be. But on the track, he is completely dialed in and a very, very nice colt.
3rd and 6.
Another guy, here's a second generation muscle mass. So he's a
6-pack.
He's a 6-pack who was a muscle mass, and he looks like a muscle mass, and he needs to mature a lot. Still looks like he still looks like it's January, right? He still has to put a lot of muscle on. He has to learn a lot. He has to do a lot. He's another horse where if he comes to those hurdles and just can't get through them at the start of the summer, physically he doesn't look like the other horses. The horses that have put the same amount of training in as him, he doesn't look the same. So we'll see what plays out with 3rd and 6. Either way, I think he's going to be an effective horse. If it's now or later on in the year, I don't know.
Time is on my side.
Just a very good horse. He's just, we've been very fortunate. You guys have spoiled us. You allowed us to buy these horses, and whether it be Punch the Clock, right, or whether it be Cowboy by the Sea, these expensive horses with these deep, deep pedigrees, it does give you a head start sometimes. And Time is on my side. He's just such a nice horse. James loves him. There's just so many horses that James talks very highly of, whether it's under his breath or out loud. And Time is on my side. It's one of them.
But Carol, I didn't hear you talk about him.
He's been good. Yeah, he's been good, but Eric's been going with him. So he's just been kind of hiding him and doing stuff with him. He was good anytime I went with him. Well, you were there the day I moved him like 4 times, circled the field, and opened up. He was so good that day. And I like the fact that Eric's just kind of hiding him.
Venice. Wow.
Venice is a machine. She's just a really, really, really good horse. and has been from day one.
And Victory, was he getting
Victory's
better?
getting better. Yep, he's getting better. He's improving a lot. I think we're watching. I am anyway, and hopefully you will next week if we get the video again.
Him?
Yep, we gelded him
so
and put the hobbles on him, changed his gear and his shoes, same as the other filly I just mentioned, Southwind Digit. Made quite a few changes with him, made some wholesale changes with him, and he's really starting to come forward. I haven't seen his top speed yet. We haven't seen his best training trip, but he's on his way. I think we're just watching that curve take place right now with him.
Watch Your Mouth's been good.
Yep, very good. Now, I haven't gone with him, you haven't gone with him, but
No.
Mario, Danny, Jimmy, everybody says he's looking very good. He's got a nicer gait, and he looks like he's got a higher end to him than his brother, who's a pretty good horse for us, too.
He's actually coming a long way mature-wise,
Yes.
because, like, we couldn't bath him.
He's learning. He's learning.
He was scared if, like, 2 people walked in the stall, flip over.
Yeah,
like,
he's just stupid.
He's really, like...
He's come a long way.
Yeah.
He's going to be a nice horse.
Widespread Panic is here.
You're going to see him in August.
He did really well the other day.
He did. He's a nice colt. He needs weight. He needs to learn. So this is what's going to happen with Widespread Panic.
Well, I was going to tell you what happened the other day when we were training.
He's probably done it a million times.
He was on the front, and we were just trying to leave him alone because he's a little grabby.
Yep.
Somebody else was training.
Yep.
And they come up beside us, and Danny was literally a passenger and opened up 10 on us.
And Danny said he doesn't like snake cord. I know he didn't wear one on him the other day. He's got to wear one.
I don't know if he did or not. I can't
sure
say.
Didn't.
But
Danny's a snake cord hater.
But he did get him back. He did, like, we caught up. It was fine. And then I came with Winter Bells, and then again, I didn't want to get on the outside of him because I didn't want to take off on everybody else. So I just sat kind of outside who was in the 2-hole, waited till the turn, and then... But he was good.
He's that colt. He's very narrow, and he touches his knees. He touches his jacks a little bit, and he's got a very thin barrel. And as we continue to put weight on that horse, his whole body's going to widen out a little bit. He's not going to touch his knees as much. He's not going to touch his jacks. In fact, we may be able to shoe him and have him in such a manner that his confidence starts to grow. His confidence is low right now. His weight is low, and he's growing. Massively, quickly.
Everything
Yeah, he's a huge eater. Yeah. So I suspect you're going to see this guy speed-wise be okay, but he's going to come to a hurdle around 210, and he's going to start running in and making breaks again. And this will only be the counterweight to that will be to get the weight on him and start tinkering with his shoes. We're not there yet, but we're going to get there. His total package you may not see until he's a 3-year-old, and I don't think you're going to see him race until August of his 2-year-old season. But I think he's going to be an effective horse in one way or another. Our goal will be to get him to the track properly so that he understands his work, not just go out and run away like he said he was training or be hot and make breaks and not do things. We don't want to see that. I want to get him to the track in such a manner that when he goes there, he looks proper, and that's going to take a little bit of time, that's all. And Winter Bells is the last one, right?
Yep.
And she's been perfect. She's a sweetheart of a filly. She does everything right. She continues to do everything. Well, you go with her. You tell them.
I say it all the time.
Yeah. Say it.
There's nothing to say. She's...
Oh, that's wonderful. So just to let you know, if I pass away, this is what you're going to get. Well, there's nothing to say. She's a horse.
That's a nice thing to say.
She's brown. She's a brown horse. She's a fast brown
horse. She is
horse.
A big, strong, powerful... I don't know.
It's not Twitter. You don't have 140 characters.
I know.
What
do you want me to say?
Tell them how she trained.
Trained very well. Just like she always does.
Yes. She's a nice filly. Doesn't wear a boot. Does everything right. And I think come summertime, when it's time to cut her loose, you're going to see what we're talking about. She's going to look like she's just good enough to win every week until we cut her loose, and then you're going to see what we're talking about. The only thing that will stop Winter Bells from being an extremely effective horse is just what God gave her. Whatever she's got under the hood, I guarantee you're going to see very, very early in her career. She's an extremely talented filly. How's that? See,
that was very good. Lots of adjectives.
You need to expand your adjectives.
Okay.
So
we made it under 1 hour.
58 minutes and 50 seconds. So that is your entire 2-year-old list. I want to give you guys my top 10 list. I want to talk to Amy about all the 2-year-olds. This is an exciting time of year. This is when you really start to see them dig in for a little bit. I told you guys about the faster last halves the other day at Northfield. We'll do that again here this week. Now, I won't be here Wednesday. I'll be here Saturday, but everybody can cut them loose on Wednesday, and then we'll do it again on Saturday. It's the coolest time of year. The 3-year-olds are going and starting to look good. The 2-year-olds are getting close. It's summer. It's almost summer, and it's the best time of year. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you guys had a great night. Tune in. Hopefully tonight we have a lot of luck at Mohawk.
It's 8:14.
Yeah, they don't go till 9 something. Take care.